October Red. I'm here at the press conference. We had a bit of a lead up this week, but I'm joined by the magnificent, the dog work, the multi-talented, the Mr. I don't know what he's up to next. Maybe he's at football, maybe he's at carnival. Savage, Dan.
Multifaceted, omnipresent. Nah, it started. It does feel like an earlier fight week, innit? Because on the big ones, obviously we have the public workout, we have the Chase Your Future on Tuesday as well. So it's kind of a whole week of activations and stuff that we, have to do to make this fight as big as it deserves to be.
We'll go straight to it. Let's talk about the fight. Let's talk about this rematch. Let's talk about it possibly never even happening. There's so much to cover with it. The loss, the comeback, the interruptions. Savage, your words.
Yeah, you're right. It almost didn't happen because obviously there's conversations here and there, and Chris Eubank had other options, you could say. But I think he made the right one, 100%. This is one you got to get this one right, And if you feel like you want to progress in your career, this is always going to be something that would have been hanging over his head. Almost then didn't happen because of dates, and we had Liam Smith's injury that meant that we had to postpone it. But we're here now. It feels real about a day. I wasn't expecting in the first fight, obviously, for it to go the way it did. I did call a Liam Smith win, but I said points. I think I might have even said a split. I thought it'd be close. We got something extraordinary. But I just got a weird feeling this time round again that I'm not sure what the bookies are doing. And I'm not sure what the people are doing in terms of who they're edging towards, but it does seem pretty 50-50 again. Obviously, if you're a Liam Smith supporter, you support him, and you will just say that, he's going to be, even more conclusive, if that's even possible. I think we get a much tighter fight. I don't think Chris Eubank Jr. underestimated Liam Smith or anything like that. But I think he'll be so much more wary of Liam Smith closing that distance, because Liam Smith does give you those early rounds. You don't win them, he gives them to you, yeah. He gives you them. He's just downloading some data, seeing if you're brave enough to throw shots whilst he stood right there in front of you, holding your feet. You might have to take one or two, but he does it in order to work.
Apologies, as per usual. October Red and their technical issues, the batteries died. Chris Eubank Jr., you said, and I hope that picked up, that there was a change in him. Chris Eubank Jr. has been through a hell of a lot. Yep. Despite his cool, calm, collective demeanour, he's sitting up there and he's still, more than likely, having lost my brother myself 2 years ago, you still mourn because it's your brother. Then obviously his dad's mourning, and we've seen certain things with his dad, and he's got all of that going through his head. Now, I am by no means making excuses for Chris Eubank, because Liam Smith was the better fighter on the night. But from the performances that I'm used to seeing Chris Eubank Jr. do, his aggressive style, that just wasn't there that night. Even how he walks out to the ring, I don't know.
I think we probably all expected Liam to maybe be the more aggressive fighter in terms of when he decides to let his shots go, he'll probably get in the position with his feet to let it happen. You're right, though, about, Chris, maybe for the last couple of years, we haven't seen him at his firing on all cylinders best. But, it's hard to look your best against top fighters anyway. I personally think he has to make a change. Bomac's good. He's accepted that he has to listen now. Before, we know what Chris Eubank was. I think he does get bad stick, Chris Eubank Jr. But there are often times where he doesn't help himself. Not necessarily now, but the picture that's been painted of you over the last decade makes you not so personable. That sticks with people, and people are seeing in the last couple of years, no, he is human. And he is, you know what I'm saying, like, he has feelings, he has a real life, a way he doesn't just wake up in the ring every morning, and he has a real life as well. Regardless, I think he will always be the villain. Sometimes you end the hero. That could easily be the case here, because you see him in some of his interviews that he does, and he opens up a bit more, and you forget to to get a better understanding of him. But you have to look for those. He doesn't give you those. You know, in his day-to-day performance to the crowd, he is going to be as provocative as he can possibly be. You know, that's just how he is. He's very smart with his words. He's Chris Eubank Senior's son, so you know this is just part of the territory. It comes of it, but I think we're in for a very good, close, thrilling fight.
I like what you've said there. And we can talk about Chris Eubank Jr. all day long because, like you said, he is his father's son. Let's switch it over to Liam Smith. Liam Smith, who's a credible fighter, world title holder, gone up against some really good names, Canelo Alvarez being one of them. People are favouring Liam to do it again. Some say he's going to do it quicker. Some say he's going to go to points. What is next with Liam? Because there was some suggestion that he had a few fights with yourselves and then he's free. What happens should Liam come through with the win on Saturday night?
I think if you're Liam, you put yourself right back in the mix for world titles. 160 is obviously where he's at right now. I'm not sure if he feels like he would want to chase a title at 160, you know? 168, sorry. Or does he go back, you know? Or 154, you know, how it's interesting to see. But, you know, if you beat Chris Eubank Jr. twice in a row in big fights, second of which is pay-per-view, people will want to fight you just as much as you'll want to fight them. So the world titles will be there for him, 100%.
Is he still going to have more fights with Boxer? Is there any renegotiations going on there? Or is he going to be like a free agent to go and fight wherever he wants?
I'm not entirely sure about where he is in that. You know, that's for Mr. Shalom. We'd like to think that, look, I mean, Liam Smith's always been an incredible fighter, but no doubt for me, the two biggest fights, you know, maybe bar the Canelo fight, which wasn't huge in England, I would say, but you know, but his biggest fights have been at Boxer on Sky with us, you know. So you like to think that we'll continue to work with him and you know, like get him the biggest and best fights.
Yeah, it would be good because obviously if he comes through this win, he's still got more to give. So it wouldn't be nice to see him like just left on a pile. Like, you've done your bits now, bye. It would be nice to see him to continue that journey with yourselves as he's had for the last year or so.
Yeah, that's exactly what everyone would want, you know. The good and bad thing about boxing right now is that as soon as these contracts, all of them, look like they're coming to an end, there are so many different promoters that you can talk to and negotiate with and blah, 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 that it becomes difficult, you know. It's become a bit of musical chairs, you know, and it's people are hopping here and hopping there, and you know, it happens. People got to go where they think is, you know, best for their career, and sometimes it's in and out very quickly. Sometimes you're there and you're there forever, you know. So let's hope that Liam Smith and everyone that we're working with stays with us. You can't make everyone happy all the time. That's the problem. That's the thing about it.
You know what? There's a diplomatic side to you as well. You can add that to your string of bowls of talent. Fraser Clark, Dave Allen. And I'll start off by saying Johnny Nelson said, this is the test to see if Fraser's got the minerals to really put it in the mix at this level. But your thoughts on that fight?
I like Dave. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good fight for Fraser more than it's a good fight for Dave. But it's an opportunity for Dave to get back in the mix if that's really what he wants to do. Operating at low level for the last couple of years, though, will hurt him coming back up to fight someone who's got momentum, who is fit, ready, raring to go, you know. In Fraser's mind, there's no chance of losing, you know. Obviously, he knows he's a sensible boy, but as far as he's concerned, he's fighting a name, you know, a name that will be willing to give it his all, but is his best behind him. I say that just as Dave is walking past me. You know, that's and it's always been the same question with Dave Allen. You know, what Dave Allen turns up. We know he's skillful. We know he can do everything, but does he want it enough at times is the question. I think he'll want this one more than he would have wanted quite a few others, just because of the opportunity that it presents if he does get the win.
And that's it. It's putting him back in the mix and getting him more work, getting him more money. He was quite vocal about he's got a family to support. There's been a few times boxing has let him down, and this is his opportunity. So then that heart, that kind of like driven mentality that he's got, could pose a risk for Fraser. He can't afford to be complacent in this.
Exactly, and let's be honest, no one's come close to really even winning a round against Fraser yet. I know he's only a few, there's been tests and he's been rising. This is the next step, because you're fighting somebody who's been there, who's done what you're trying to aspire to do. Essentially, he's top shows. He's been the people's champ. You know, in many ways, he has been Fraser Clark. So he has to find a way past him. You know, they're the nicest when they're together. And Fraser said it yesterday. I'm not buying it, Dave. I'm not buying it. He knows he has to get in there. It's all love and respect, hugs, smiles. But once the first ball goes, Fraser knows I've got to get onto him, and he's just got to be, another bloke in the ring. And I think he'll do it. There's very few people that I know in boxing circles that are picking Dave Allen to win. But if you go online, people are thinking, nope, Dave Allen does it. But I don't think they understand the reversibility in boxing and just how quickly it can happen. It doesn't take much. To not want it, to want it 99% instead of 100%, that will show. So it's an interesting fight as well.
We talk about online. We're going to finish up here because I know you've got to go up there. We talk about online. Goulamirian. Okay. Goulamirian has put out, I want to fight Richard Riakporhe, lovely, world title shot in his own country, etc., etc. Talk to us about that fight. I don't want to get into the purse bid debacle because it's pointless, but talk to us about, is that fight a possibility? Is Richard going to get his world title shot? Not against Chris Billam-Smith, who is fought already. No disrespect. That can be a unification. Can he go and take that guy's belt? And is he going to do it on behalf of Boxer?
Let's find out. I know you almost got a big answer out of me right there, but as in like let's find out. We know that the fight's possible. Goulamirian says he would like to fight Richard Riakporhe. Richard Riakporhe wants what he's got. Wants a world title. This is the fight, in my opinion, to make. I think Rich beats him all day. I rate Goulamirian, I do actually, but I just think Rich, he's learning the almost like the more refined nous intricacies. Sometimes I don't even love that he's learning it because he's doing it too much, but he still has that huge right hand and he can end the fight like that and the spike. So yeah, hopefully it's a fight that we see this year, soon.
Well, the only reason why I say that is because now we're getting Jordan Thompson who's going to fight Opataya. There was whispers about that as soon as obviously the purse bid debacle. Jordan Thompson then, somebody that's been with Matchroom for a couple of years. I'm sure he's had about the same amount of fights as Richard, but picked up on the bigger screens later than Richard. Your thoughts on that fight then? Because theoretically, Jordan comes through that fight. It's Jordan versus Richard.
Yeah, it's crazy, I think that was obviously an easier fight to make, seeing as there was a co-promotion with Matchroom when it comes to Opataya, and then you've got Jordan Thompson over there. It's a good fight. And you know what, just for British boxing, it's best if all the Brits go and win the world titles. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those people that even, when I try my hardest to keep my boxer hat on or my business hat on, it's just like, nah, that you want the boys to go and win and thrive. You see what I'm saying? So all the best to Jordan Thompson. I hope he goes there, does the business. That's it. It's an opportunity. He probably wasn't expecting this a few weeks ago, or he's in your division, but you're not expecting a world title like this to drop in your lap. Gotta take it with both hands.
We love it. Listen, I know you've got bits to do. Maybe we've got to do a podcast. You know what? I've got the podcast I'm doing in Brum. If you can, come up.
Yeah, I'll come up, or just Skype me in, man. Just put me on the screen.
It's not like my reception's my reception's dead at home as well, isn't it?
It's Birmingham.
No, it's got nothing. Let's not do that. We've got a friendship. Let's not break it.
You're as Birmingham as it gets, isn't it?
You are. What does that mean?
Fight for that place till the end. You love Birmingham. I love Birmingham as well, though.
What do you love about Birmingham?
I like Solihull. Yeah, South Birms. Is that south?
That's posh. That ain't even really Birmingham. That's kind of like, well, it is, but it isn't.
All right, where are we going then? Where's that?
Let's go to the inner city areas. Shout out the inner city areas, the area which I came from, Handsworth. We've got Newtown, Lozells, Hockley, Ladywood,
There you go.
all of those areas, Aston, the inner city areas.
I know about Aston, because Aston Villa. Yeah. Yeah, you lot, I like you lots over there. Let's bring big time boxing back to Birmingham. You had it the other day. You've had it twice this year. You've had it twice this year.
I'm greedy, I want more.
It's true. It's coming. It's coming there. Anyway, my love, thank you for having me. Stay tuned. October Red. Yeah.